Okay. Welcome to another episode of Monday Club. I am getting the pleasure of doing the introduction for this episode, and I've never been allowed to do one before, and this is the reason why, because I'm terrible at it. But how is everybody this evening? How are you all getting on?
Yeah, man, all good.
Well, I'm feeling good. What is these blinds in your man cave? Did you let your wife do these blinds?
Yeah, they've been annoying me since the day they went up, to be honest. But
I've ripped them down immediately.
Bit of colour to the room. It's nice.
No, it's not okay in a man cave.
You've already said this before, Sam. You've said it looks like a northern shed that was built in the 80s and was designed by someone with no taste. So, yeah, no, my wife's trimmed with that because she picked everything that's in here. So, nice one.
Oh, no. Kimmy, what have you got around your neck? You look like a Girl Scout.
Oh, mate, it's apparently it's like a face mask thing, but you can also wear it as a headband to keep like your ears warm.
Sam, you need one of them. Cover your hair up.
I know. Have you seen it? My lockdown hair. I've freshly shampooed and conditioned my hair. Now, people, listen. Here's a question. As a man, do you put conditioner in your hair? Well, Mark can't answer this question.
I used to. So.
Yeah, because he washes his face and his head at the same time. Do you remember that joke?
Yes. Yeah, no. I used to use conditioner years ago, but there's no point. Just wear a hat all the time. So.
Yeah, I always put conditioner in. Apparently, you're not meant to as a man. Why wouldn't you?
So would you guys use like fairy liquid to just wash everything?
No, you use like shower gel and then
shower gel for your hair.
You can.
To be fair, I've used Lynx. Yeah. And this is Monday Club. Right, we're off to a cracking start. Right, Sam, how's your week been?
My week's been. Well, we had a rough week last week. We missed Monday Club, first time ever, due to scheduling difficulties. Not just your bad, my bad too. Mark's bad 3, Kimmy's bad 4. No, it just we couldn't the stars didn't align last week for us to do a Monday Club, so that was a downer. And then I've been so busy, like, because I was working at that Amazon job.
It
was. So I was there 2 weeks, and it was such a long day. It was just at the house about 13 hours a day. I wasn't getting in till late. So I haven't had time to do podcasts or anything. So I've let everything slip for last week or so. And then towards the end of the week, I get the call that I've been waiting for. There's a
Are we doing it already? Oh, sorry.
Call I've been waiting for Pfizer's job round the corner. Because I live near the Pfizer's head office. And so I got on that job. So life is getting back to normal now. I don't like working long days. I'm not good at it.
Should be working,
basically. Yeah. You've
had a taste of hard work and you've given it up already. That's the short story, isn't it?
Well, listen, I started at this Pfizer's job today, mate. It wasn't easy. Like, they're not giving it away, but at least I'm not there as long. And I was in my house by like 14 minutes past 4, so you can't moan at that.
Home earlier than me.
Are you saying Pfizer's?
Yeah. You know who make the vaccine?
Okay, so no, but okay, so what are you doing there? Like electrics?
Making vaccines, obviously. No, I'm doing electrical work, Kimmy. No, I'm doing electrical work.
Oh my god, imagine they're making people like you making the vaccines. Yeah, that's
No, I'm not making vaccines.
Sam's there with a big stick. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, just a bit more.
I'd have some for myself here. Yeah. I've already been vaccinated. I've had the Pfizer vaccine. I feel like I'm entitled to work there as well. Because I'm one of you guys. I've had the vaccine.
I got my card.
I feel bad that I didn't know what this was.
I had no idea either, so don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Do you not live under a rock? Have you not been learning about the vaccines?
For a very long
young.
Time, so
I mean, we don't need any vaccine anytime soon.
What are you, Nick?
Hang on, Kimmy. How old are you?
Me, I'm going to be 25 on your birthday next month.
Oh my god, I thought you were older than me.
How
I'm
old
just
are you,
joking.
like?
I'm just joking. Go on, how old am I?
Like 24, 23?
Listen.
No, I'm 20. I'm about to be 29.
Yeah, he's getting way too old. Listen, 29 is when it gets creepy wearing a Batman hat. That's all I'm saying, bro. A Batman hat and one glove like Michael Jackson. That's it.
Not a glove.
I'm gonna be 25 next month, halfway to 50. So that's gonna be quite
next
dramatic.
month. Wait,
We share the same birthday. Me
we got the same birthday. Can you imagine?
April to what?
20th.
You are Tauruses.
Oh, 50-50, but
we're on the edge, aren't we? It's last day or beginning day.
Literally,
Aries and Ram. Thank you. April the 7th.
But I'm an Aries, but I drink from a Taurus cup.
Come on.
But anyways, Monday Club, keep electrical.
Yeah, but what's better than Aries? None. That's the best star. That's
no.
What are you
You're
done?
right.
Come on. Anyway,
star signs. Oh,
I know it's one of them ones. Listen, I'm really tired. Okay, I've done work today. It's been a while. Marco, what have you been up to this week?
We've had loads going on.
EICRs.
No, I was going to say we've had a lot going on. Going back a couple of weeks because we missed last week, but we had the episode with NET come out on the Apprentice One-to-One podcast. That was pretty awesome. That they came on a chat with me. Yeah, generally with the day job, it is just the EICRs, so I can't really talk about that. It's so boring. I'm literally going to die a death of EICRs, I think, before April the 1st. I've about had enough of them.
Question: How many have you got booked in after April the 1st, like me?
At the minute, quite a lot still. I thought it would just stop, but it isn't. Are you finding the same?
Do you remember? I said a couple of Monday Clubs ago, I said people will go, oh, missed the deadline, and then the estate agents have all gone to me. We've had a chat with someone that says it's okay if we go past as long as it's booked in before the 1st. And already, I expect to my other half, I have the entire of April already fully booked because of the ICRs already. And I thought March was going to be like the crap month that we go, right, let's just slog through it, get it done. Come middle of April, we'll come out the other side and start doing electrics again. Nope.
Yeah, just the same. And we've had to pile on to doing all the remedials because obviously when you're going through them, a lot of them aren't passing. Yeah. So there's all of that to get sorted out as well within the 2-week window they get given. So, it's a bit of a tight squeeze. And I think most electrical contractors are all in the same position. It's bloody pain in the backside, but it ain't going anywhere. So we just got to get on with it, I guess.
Yeah, well, money. I don't know what you lot are moaning about. You lot are getting paid buku money for this.
Well, I had my local wholesaler up in Stafford ring me up and he goes, Nick, is everything all right? I said, yeah, why? He says, I know you get free stuff because of YouTube, but do you still want to use us, don't you? I was like, yeah, why? He says, you've not been for ages. I said, all I've done is EICRs, mate. I said, if I needed to buy new Teslas because they're going to burn out soon, I'll come get them from you. I said, but other than that, I've not. It's just remedial stuff.
That's actually not true because you could just ring up Steve Hayes at TIS, testinstrumentsolutions.co.uk or .com or whatever, and he will sort you out because he sponsors Monday Club.
Yes, he does. He texted me the other day, actually.
Well, of course he did. Kimmy, what have you been doing this week, please?
This week?
Last week, bruv.
I know, sorry. I'm like, what day is it? Oh, you know me. I never know what day it is. Oh, the most important thing that I did was go to Northampton. Was it Northampton? Yeah, Northampton. And I worked with little YouTube spark, Dr. Electric and his apprentice Adam. That was awesome.
Hold. What? Can we just address this behind Kimmy's head, please? What is that?
Where?
What is that bit of MT1 trunking up the wall and round the corner with an
M2?
It's
M2.
I didn't do this.
Oh my days! Please tell me you did that.
This is a rented property, and this basically I put some of the trunking myself because this had no trunking. It was literally just a piece of cable just hanging off. So I put a little bit of trunking just to keep it up.
Kimmy, we're gonna have to have a conversation about your trunking skills, bro.
There we go.
Yeah. I've just blown up your spot because that's some of the worst trunking I've ever seen. Sorry.
It's honestly, I couldn't do better than that. That's the best I could do. there was no cable.
Stop talking. I'm going to have to edit this out if you carry on talking. Just say yes, Sam.
Yes, Sam. Yes,
right.
Sam.
Okay, we'll move on swiftly before you get roasted. Nick's dying.
That's hurt me.
What?
That's hurt me.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Wait, hold on. So you went to Northampton for what?
Just because I can. So I went to work with them guys for a day to just see how other people do things. And
what guys? Did they show you how to do MT2 properly?
No, but they showed me how to do spotlights. And I've had a big phobia of measuring spotlights. And they showed me amazing little tips and tricks. And
what?
Do you know what it is? I normally, because I've had a very easy life where all the spotlight jobs I've ever done, the builder would cut them for me, and I just come in, put the cables in, put the spotlights in, and everything. And they normally would just cut the holes and measure it for me, because I get very paranoid with them not being evenly distributed when they can be, when it's like a bent hallway and stuff. And yeah, I've just had a phobia of spotlights, and I've rejected so many spotlight jobs. So then I took the opportunity to go and learn how to do spotlights.
Wait, what? Hold on a minute. Listen, I'm going to be real nice about this. It's your job to to know how to cut out I
know how to cut them, but I just don't like to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
because you mess it up, and it's game over, and then it's putting your hand in your pocket. I get that. I've been there, but if you don't practice enough,
obviously, even this whole thing with knowing where the studs are, as soon as I hit one, I just feel like, oh my god, this is it. I'm gonna go home and just hide forever because I just hit a joist and I don't know.
Usually you're not drilling into a finished ceiling, drilling out your holes into a finished ceiling.
No. A lot of the time you are.
Yeah.
Well, wait, you're not. No, you're not.
You are.
Like, these are properties that they've got pendants.
I never have.
And they just want to upgrade them to spotlights.
Oh, like that? Yes. Okay, I understand. Why wouldn't you use a stud finder?
So these are. What's that?
Stud finder.
What, that little magnet thing, or like some electronic thing?
You get like a little
magnet thing.
Yeah, and you just put them over.
Stud Buddy or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that Stud Buddy thing. I purchased it like last week, and I tried it in my house, and it didn't work. So I don't
completely
know.
agree. Jordan did a video on it, and I didn't watch the video because I looked at it and I thought, oh, this could be a pointless video. It's about a stud finder. People raved about it, and it got like 150,000 views. I thought, must be pretty good. So I bought 2 the other day off Amazon. And people raving about it on Instagram. Oh my god, it's crap. It is crap. I would do it every room.
It does the same as a fridge magnet.
Yeah. Every room in my house can't work. The only bit it caught was a bit of metal trunking that I put in for my light switch in my kitchen. That's the only bit it stuck to. So unless every single roof in my house is 3 boards thick, I don't think it's very good.
Well, I cannot comment on that. What I can comment on though is listen, you house bashers, yeah, you don't know what's going on at the moment, do you?
Nick, I've had a great week. Thanks for asking. Yeah, carry on, Sam.
Yes, go on, Nick. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't even talk about it anymore. So it's fine.
That's made me so happy. That's really funny, Nick. You've actually stepped up your game this week. Go on, tell us about your boring ass week. Oh, done the ICLs and about it.
Yeah. So,
went to my unit and burnt some wood.
Didn't. No. I did. It was a really outside my comfort zone video today. I had to go out and film outside in front of people. So I've not got any in here. The Unilight do the hard cases for testers and lights and stuff.
Yeah.
So it sent me. So I've got a few anyway that I bought for all the camera equipment because I purchased a camera slider the other day. So it's a module that so you can do B-roll. You know what B-roll is, don't you, Sam?
Yes, I do know what B-roll is.
I'm just checking. B-roll, obviously. So if you're talking over this music, it's slow moving video, camera, whatever. So I bought that and it was quite expensive. So I've bought the case and then I said, send me a little one and I'll just destroy it and I'll put it through its paces to see how it works. So I filmed it all today, but I had Aaron, my mate, with me, one that was in a few videos, who's ex-bodybuilder, who is enormous, because I can't do much with this. So I got a baseball bat.
Your silly hand, first of all.
I passed Adam I was leaning over someone's bed the other day, and a rubble tub full of rubbish. And as I passed it with one hand, my wrist just like gave way. And I've broken that many bones before, and I know what it feels like. And as soon as I did it, I was like, I got a pain down all the way to my elbow, and I was like, that's not right. And I left it for a couple of days. I was like, it's fine. But then it's like you got kids, you're constantly picking them up, juggling them, catching them, and it got worse and worse. And I thought, if I either go to A&E and they put a cast on it, which I don't want to do,
no,
I'll just stick a metal rod in it for a couple of days, see how we get on. But it's just getting worse. So yeah. Anyway, so I destroyed these cases, had a scissor lift, dropped it off 8 meters high, dragged it with my van, drowned it in water, and then I let Aaron beat the crap out of it with a baseball bat, and actually broke the baseball bat at the end.
So they are genuinely durable.
Oh, mate, it was. We broke it at the very end. I said, Aaron, last one, hit it 10 times as hard as you can, and trust me, the guy's massive. And he went, yeah, all right then. And as he hit it, the box did crack, broke the bat clean in half, wooden baseball bat, and but even still, inside, like, I would trust anything in them. We tested it 15 times more than it ever had to be, and it was awesome.
Decent.
So worth the money, really. It should be a good video. I've got to edit it all, but it's been an enjoyable day. But when I had to, we had a guy, as I was dragging it down the road on the industrial estate, there's a guy looking in front of me, and he looks at me as I'm driving past, and then he realizes the doors are open. He sees something dragging. He's like, whoa, yes. And as he got past, he saw Aaron in the back with the camera, and he went, oh, whatever. I just carried on walking. So yeah, it's been good. It's an exciting week. It's just busy as usual.
Decent.
Anyway, Sam, carry on. Thanks for asking.
So I'll get back to actual electrical content and instead of you boring the piss out of our listeners. So it's funny. You house bashers, mainly house bashers, won't know what's going on. There's a big thing going on at the moment at Hinkley Point. Who knows where Hinkley Point is?
Yeah, it's in Hinkley, isn't it?
Who knows what Hinkley Point is?
It's a place
it's a
where the
nuclear power station, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Mark. Right, Nick, shut up.
Where
Kimmy,
there's stuff going on.
Don't know. So Hinkley Point is.
You spoke about this last time. Is that the same one when you said ED something bought it?
You've got to listen better. We've got problems, yeah. So Hinkley Point C is a nuclear power station. And it's one of the first, one of the newest power stations built in the UK. And it was a project started by EDF. Started by a company, and EDF took it over. And Balfour's, NG Bailey's, and a few other companies are struggling to get it over the line. So what they've decided to do is use labour that is trained very quickly in specific areas of electrical installation, i.e. containment and pulling cables in. So what they plan to do is introduce a qualification called the ESO, the Electrical Skilled Operative thing, whatever. Electrical Skilled Operative qualification, where you will go and do a 7-week course and you'll come out with a competency in installing containment and pulling cables in said containment.
So your job then, yeah?
Essentially, well, yes and no. I wouldn't rank myself as a
qualified, yeah.
Nick, how many gold cards do you have?
Oh no, 0.
Oh, okay, sweet. So yeah, listen. So there's a big old hoo-ha about this. So you got Unite on one side going, whoa, a load of people are going to get de-skilled and it's going to make a mockery of the electrical industry. It's a bit like, if we was going to equate it to anything, it's a bit like your 12-week courses coming in and saying they're house bashers. Your domestic installer route, if you like. Right. And how annoying that would be to you guys. This is the same way. But there is a difference. And I know I banged on about this last week, but it is a massive thing and it will have ramifications across the industry should it go through. But I don't know if they're negative. Mark, do you think, like, because you've done both, you've worked as a domestic installer and you've worked as a metal muncher, is what we're referred to in the industry. I don't just do metal munching; I do BMS and generator installs and stuff like that. But
Eating.
Predominantly, and eating, yes, I do that a lot.
Kimmy, you can't say things like that.
I'm quite a professional at it. But Mark, what would you say the ramifications could be from this?
I don't think that they're going to be very good for electricians. That's like you've just alluded to that there could be quite a lot of job losses for actual electricians if employers can get away with paying people less money to do the same task. Then they're going to take that ticket, aren't they? Certainly these bigger companies. And I think if we start, I know that you can see it. You can see it from both points of view. But if we start letting that happen, where does it stop? I can see how it would spread into other areas of work, other parts of the industry where there'll be specialist courses to come and do a certain aspect of our trade. And I think we need to probably resist against it as best we can. I do see that point of view. And for yourself, Sam, if that's your job that you're doing every day, day in, day out, and you're getting paid, I don't know, whatever you're getting paid per day, and they can get away with paying half of that, how do you feel about it? That should be more the question.
So, if I turn up on site with my wealth of knowledge, which, let's be fair, isn't great. I'm not the most technical guy. I'm not the most experienced guy. But I turn up, and over the years, I've honed my skills, and I can turn my hand to pretty much anything. Not be great at anything, but I got a functioning knowledge of the industry, where I need it to be. And I'm on a job that requires me just to do containment for 5 years. So I'm doing metal munching for 5 years. How is that? And like, let's be honest, right? How hard is it to learn metal munching? Do you think
you can pick it up quite quick, but to master it, it's like anything. You will have to practice and practice to get.
Mastering what?
Yeah, but it depends if you're getting prefab joints or you're getting, all that sort of stuff brought, and you're literally just clicking stuff together.
90% of these installations now will already be in the design spec, will be prefab bends, prefab corners. Everything should be prefabbed.
I get it to a point, but equally, if everything's prefabbed, I wouldn't say you're taking a skilled job from an electrician. That's probably what electricians wouldn't like to do. It's not challenging or hard. Well, this is from my point of view as a house basher. Yeah. But you're giving some people, I'm only looking from the other point, but you're giving some people that want to get into the electrical industry that can't quite get their foot into all the work experience, so they can qualify through this route, do this for a couple of years, and then jump across, maybe.
Again, I think the ESO could be exactly the same as a domestic installer route. It's a gateway into it. Now, what you have at the moment is you have an ECS white card. Anyone can go and get that. My postman comes up to me and goes, "I want to go and work on a site next week." I'll go, right, go and apply for your ECS test. Go and get your test done, get your card, and then I'll take you to site with me. It's that simple. And you can work as an electrician's mate. And within a couple of weeks, you'll be doing pretty much what I'm doing. Not to my level, because that might take another couple of weeks. Like
days.
You're not talking about years to be able to master containment to the level that these type of places want it slung in. They sling it in now. It's a big slinging operation.
I think if it was old school. Sorry, come on.
I was going to say, it's this all kind of off design as well, isn't it, Sam? So it's all been given to you on a drawing. You've just got to install it as shown. And, the hardest part of the job is going to be, making sure you get your supports in the right place, I guess. And you get a good fixing into the fabric of the building. It's not technically, you're not taxing yourself, are you, I suppose?
It's not like, so my argument is I'm an electrician, and if I want £30 an hour and I go to a job, how do I justify that when my job can be done by someone who's only been doing it for a month? If you're like reading the drawing, interpreting the drawing and how to measure it out is not something you need to go to college for.
No.
Reading the drawing and then putting up the framework and then putting the containment on the framework is not something you need to go to college for 4 years. The technical application of your knowledge and your understanding of how to design an installation is what you go to college for, so where do you differentiate that skill set? I'm going to get murdered for this opinion, but I really struggle to understand why.
It's interesting. No, it is interesting because you're kind of saying, are we splitting out containment from the actual electrical trade? That's ultimately what we're asking, I think, isn't it? Is it part of our trade skills anymore? Is it something that we want to be doing as electricians? And on these bigger jobs, you're still going to have the designers who are electricians. You're still going to have site supervisors, I would hope, who are. So you're just really talking about the labour who's attaching it to the fabric of the building, hanging it up, cutting it to length. Is that something that you see as part of the electrical trade? What do you think?
I do see containment as part of the electrical trade, and I do see a role for an electrician in that particular sector. What I don't see is, I find it very difficult to justify having 10 electricians doing containment. Like, I just don't. I struggle to see how you can argue against that. And one of the smart things that I think Hinkley Point C as a building have done is they've used the back of the economic downturn to launch the ESO. If they'd done this before, it wouldn't have got out the starting blocks. But what they've done is, right, well, we need an economic pickup. So we need to get as many people into the trades as possible to push the economy. And we need the companies in this economy to be making as much profit as possible, to be pushing back into the economy and bolstering it. And that's what I see is an opportunist takeover of our trade in a certain area. I do see that, but then I also find it very difficult to argue against it. Like, do you need 10 electricians to do what 5 electricians and 5 mates could do? Or 5 ESOs could do? And would you rather an ESO than a mate? Because a mate has just come in off the street with his ECS white card and like stood next to you, seen what you've done and tried to replicate it? Or do you have an ESO who's done 7 weeks and comes and stands next to you and goes, "Do you know what? I've got a really good idea of how we can do this," and you sort of get on with them, and you're not carrying someone the entire time. I feel like I carry mates a lot. Rather than having like someone who's skilled in that area that's going to help me get it up. Now, that's the argument, isn't it? Are they training mates to be actually better at doing a mate's job? I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned sorry, Kimmy, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that makes more sense if obviously you have the price per hour, whatever it is, that would reflect that. I think that's the only sort of issue that I personally see. So, like, if they get all paid the same, maybe, I'd see why you'd feel some kind of way about it. But if there is a price difference that reflects that...
Yeah, they will be, because what they want to do is they'll probably want to replace electricians' mates with ESOs. They'll probably want to reduce the amount of electricians doing containment and pulling in cables with ESOs to save money and to save, like...
But even that, do you know what I'm thinking? There is a lot of electricians who would be good at doing that kind of stuff, but they might not be as good as passing the physics side of it in terms of the formulas and stuff. So they can't do containment unless they're electricians, right? But then they might not be able to pass the physics and the difficult exams to get the full qualification. So if they just pass in that containment and the specifics of that, they would be qualified enough to do it. I think that would make sense for all the people that can't get electrician qualifications. So instead of doing plumbing or another kind of trade, they could do like a in between.
And this is the argument. This is the argument coming from the opposing side, is that it's de-skilling our trade. So it's taking skills and compartmentalizing them into separate qualifications. So as people can then get into the trade easier. And a lot of people want to protect the trade and have it as like keeping an electrician as an electrician. But my thing would be, a lot of the guys that I've worked with who do metal munching struggle to do the wiring, or would like struggle doing a lighting circuit, where because they've done metal munching for say 10 years straight and not pulled in a lighting circuit and stuff, they still have an idea of how it goes. But if you're not doing it on a daily basis, you're going to be rusty at whatever you do. And that's another issue. It's like you've got lifelong electricians doing containment, that you're not going to be very skilled or very well rounded in other areas.
No, I mean, you referenced back to the domestic installers and how that all started. In my opinion, that was training companies who drove that, and they started with pat testing, and electricians kind of let that slide because we don't particularly enjoy pat testing. So it was like, oh, okay, we can live with that. You do your courses to train people up to do pat testing, and then it kind of built onto this domestic installers pat P course, and now we're starting to see these fast track NVQs, and it just pushes and pushes and pushes. And if this actually comes in, my worry is that it'll push further and further into the trade where they get cheaper and cheaper labour. And at the end of the day, electricians are going to be, losing out big time. We're the ones who are going to be suffering the cost of it, whilst the bigger companies make more profits and money for their shareholders. And they're all living on nice Caribbean islands and we're all on the dole.
Well, do you know what? I think that's the actual reality of it. I think you've summed it up there, Mark. I think it is a cash grab. I think it's, to wring the neck of building, of the building industry, construction industry as a whole. They've got to wring the neck of it. And that is by de-skilling the trade to a certain extent so as they can maximize their profits. They have a duty to do that. Like, why would you run a business to not maximize your profits? They're not trying to give back to the industry in any way, shape or form. That they don't care about the growth of the electrical industry and the future of the electrical industry. They care about the growth and future of their company. It's a really interesting topic. That's probably boring to most. But it's something that's been really in my head, and I wanted to get these thoughts out of my head because I can see both sides, but the rebellious side of me just says no, you're not doing it. No. but then I'm trying to be reasonable.
I know you did sound like a kid at first that's having a tantrum. So no, I don't want them to do it. It's my job to cut the containment. It's my job to put on the walls.
All right, Kimmy. Listen, you need to go and do an ESO course looking at that MT2. That's all I'm saying, bro.
You know
Kimmy,
what?
come work with me and I'll show you how to do it. All right.
I'm not even going to say anything.
You can actually get prefabricated corners, just saying.
You can, and I have them in the garage, so they will eventually go on there.
Is this one of them scenarios? Like
this took me. Do you know how long it took me to put the trunking up to hide the bare cable that the other electrician left? It took me about a year and a half.
This is one of them scenarios. Where, your mechanic always has a beaten up old car because he can't be asked to fix it. Is this one of them scenarios?
It's basically it. Because the thing is, I look at it every day, and it just kind of like you don't see it anymore.
Used to it.
Yeah, you get past it.
I've got exactly the same thing. Like, I've got don't know, ask me why I've got this upwards. I've got 600 by 6. Oh, you can't see it. 600 by 600 LED panel, surface mounted for my office. I wanted a bright light, and I couldn't be asked to go and get my steps out of the van. So I stood on this chair and put it up, and I thought, wow, turned it on. That looks great. Went downstairs, come back up, and as I walked upstairs, I could see the wall. I was like, oh bollocks, it's like instead of being stretched like that. I look at it now, I'm like, every time I think, I'll fix that next weekend. It will never ever get fixed.
There's a few things I could show you in my garage right now, in my shed. Sorry, look at this. I don't know if you can see it down here. My light switch stopped working, so I just pull out the fuse. I pull out the fuse to turn it off, just because I can't be asked to change it over. Yeah, so we all do.
Make sure you don't edit that bit out. You want to make sure people see that.
Well, I will. I'm not. Listen, this is my shed. It's my garden shed. It shouldn't even have power, really.
It's got an extension lead, isn't it? 100% it's got an extension lead.
Oh, what?
Definitely.
What? No, I've got a
generator outside.
I have got an extension lead from the outside plug all the way around the side, clipped to the wall. And then, well, it's not I cut the extension lead up. I pulled it out to its maximum, poked it through the bottom of the shed, put it into a Wago click box, left it down there. It's down in the corner. I could show you right now.
No, thanks.
That's okay.
It's decent. Mark, what technical subject have you got to breach with us this week?
I wanted to talk about live testing. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is after David Savory's video that you might have all seen the other week, where he talked about that poor young lad who.
Savory?
Yeah, come off it, Davo Saver.
Yeah, I watched that whole video.
It's terrible story behind all that, and then just some other posts I'd seen where there's electrical contractors who were saying they've been told they don't have to actually carry out any live testing anymore, that they can use dead tests and then calculate. It was a post over on LinkedIn actually that somebody had done, and they were saying for any of their work they don't do any live testing, which seemed like a pretty staggering thing to say for me. But I wondered how you guys approached it all.
Who said it?
Wait. What? Somebody said it. That's not like one of the NIC guys.
No, this is an electrical contractor who said it. On a post on LinkedIn.
How do they test the RCD? They just kind of like look at the box and pick a number. Or...
Exactly. Certainly on your RCBOs on a lighting circuit. How do you do it?
Don't you guys tap it and then listen for the tap backs and count to 10? 27.4. There we go. That's ridiculous.
It's
crazy.
Listen. There must be a calculation. There's a calculation to discover the size of the universe. So there's a calculation to be able to understand the resistance on a cable. It's not a thing.
But then again, this will bring it back to the whole thing of where you're saying you're de-skilling it. So if I can just do the dead tests and then just sit in the car and figure everything out and just go home, then that's kind of like
the drive-by ICR in it. That's it.
No, well, it's a bit more than that. It's quite a. Listen,
obviously,
I wish I knew how to do it.
There is more to that than that, but
yeah, I wish I knew the formula. Like I barely know Ohm's law, but what I would like to know is, you can take as many guesses as you want using the formula, because that's essentially what it is. Because you don't know until you've proved it. It's like I know I've turned off the power to the board, but you don't know till you proved it. Is that the same? Is that the same thing you should really be doing when you're testing?
No, well, this is like a bit stupid, isn't it, really? Because there's no way you can get competent results on an EICR or on a board that you've put in or a new installation. And yes, you've completed all dead and live tests completely. Like, there's no way you could calculate what you need.
Don't know what the calculation.
Well, I can, because it's just absolutely fucking like that's stupid. Like you cannot. Yeah, but you can't. And Mark agree with, like, to get a full test to know that the whole thingy is done safely, you need to do all your tests. Otherwise, it's not doing it properly.
Yeah, it's been like that for the longest time. You tell the client to make sure they've got enough electric on the meter and so forth and so forth. And if they don't, you don't do the test because you just can't.
Oh, right.
You
Good
can't.
story, Kim.
I was surprised with the people chiming in on the post on LinkedIn, because having watched David's video, and we see the dire consequences of untested electrical systems where we haven't proved that there's a sufficient earth in place. And then we've got another post where it's a group of professional electricians and they're kind of chatting about, well, you don't actually have to do live testing. You can use your R1, R2, and you can obtain your ZE and PFC by sort of asking the DNO. And your RCD test you can do with on a plug socket anyway. I mean, they're kind of forgetting about lighting fittings, but we'll bypass that for the time being. And you just wonder, especially with initial verification, you've got to be doing that full range of tests. You can kind of see the argument on a periodic where they might not want to do a ZS test on a lighting circuit. We do loads of compliance work, and we do the ZS live tests. I just think we've gone to the trouble of training as electricians. We're supposed to be the ones ensuring end users' safety, keeping them safe from the dangers of electricity. And if we're not able to do that ourselves in a safe way, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I think it's just this same old virtue signaling nonsense that goes around in the electrical Twitter sphere and LinkedIn sphere and whatever, where they just talk nonsense about how great they are as electricians and how they can be and how they're untouchable gods of the electrical industry, when in reality, just do it the right way, do it the correct way, do it the way you was taught in college. Because if there was a better way, that's what you would be taught to do. To do it how you're taught. Do it how you're meant to do it. I'm not saying like don't try and innovate and don't have that knowledge for when it's necessary, but you can't go around doing tests and telling people, yeah, I've tested your thing, I've tested your electrical installation, but I use this special formula.
Well, I'd like to see, let's say if something ever happened, how their results as, I've not done any live tests, just dead tests, how that would hold up against, an NIC NAPIT approver or in court, or if anything ever happened like this, that story that Dave told, how far, you're not doing your competent tests, you've estimated these results when you could have clearly tested it properly. Like, how far would that go?
Exactly. And there was...
Sorry, Mark.
I was going to say, they were saying on the post on LinkedIn, actually, that they'd heard the same advice from their, I won't say the particular CPS, but from their area assessor, that was fine, that it was an allowable way to do it. And I just found that whole thing totally staggering. I don't understand how that could ever be a thing. And you make a good point, Nick. If you stood in court, you want all of the hard and fast evidence backing you up to keep you out of trouble, and for your own peace of mind. You've got to live with stuff like that at the end of the day as well. Any sane, right-thinking person does not want that on their conscience. So if you've got instruments in your being to make sure that electrical systems are safe, use them, and use the PPE, use all of the adapters and accessories we can get. You're talking about TIS, Sam. They have the light fitting adapters that you can put into pendants and GU10 holders, so you can get your probes in and you're not stood on your steps, holding stuff into connecting points. You can keep yourself as safe as possible doing your live testing. But I think it's important we distinguish there's a difference between live testing and live working. We do kind of fall into the same category, but if you look in the on-site guide, I think it's page 100, it references it in there that it is allowable to do live tests and that we do need to do them. And that's my opinion on it. I don't think anybody would ever change that, whatever they say from a CPS or wherever else.
I think, is there like a certain amount that I don't know enough about testing? Again, I'm a gold card electrician that doesn't test. So am I really an electrician? That's another whole big question.
Definitely not.
You're a containment installer.
Yes, certainly.
You're definitely not one of them, are you?
No. No.
But what I say is there like a minimum amount of testing you have to do? Like, do you have to test like 30% of the installation for it to for initial verification, or do you have to test every circuit to its fullest?
Oh, for initial verification.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, because you use the calculation, do the calculation, and then just go and check your results on a few of the circuits to make sure they all tally up. So you might only need to test, say you've got 10 circuits, you've only got to test 3 of them to make sure that your live testing tallies up, therefore limiting the exposure to risk.
That was one of the arguments on that thread, actually, that if you've got a socket near the consumer unit or distribution board, you can get a ZS measurement from that. And if you've done your R1, R2 tests on the other circuits, you kind of already know that the live earth path's in place and you can use calculation based on that. I don't buy into that, but that was one of the arguments that were put forward.
Yeah, I get it to a point.
Mark, can we just... I don't think people understand like your learned perspective. Can you just tell us your qualifications in electrical, electronics, and stuff like that? Just so, not boasting, but just saying, like, because so people can understand where you're coming from.
I got an E in technology at GCSE. Now I've got obviously my MVQ and apprenticeship. I've got my 2391. I have got a HND in electronics and engineering. I've also got a foundation degree in electronics and engineering. So I do know the science side of things as well as the electrical side of stuff.
So you're not a dummy.
Been doing it 20 years. That's the main thing. You learn more doing the job. My actual qualifications don't mean that much to me, to be honest. The fact I've done this job for over 20 years now and in some quite cool places, I'm more proud of that than any of the.
So you've also worked on MOD installations and stuff like that all around the country, live sites and all that sort of stuff. So you're not an idiot. So I defer to your better knowledge on this, but I'd just like to say I'm smart.
You are smart, Sam. You're smarter than you give yourself credit for sometimes.
Well, you know.
You actually can use a screwdriver the right way around. I mean, Nick Senior, close up quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to work on your chasing out. You're certainly not good at chopping sockets.
All I'm saying is they use a 36 volt drill. Yeah, I use an 18 volt drill. My drill is
a man's drill and a boy's drill. Then
no, a DeWalt and a Bosch. First of all, and listen, the Bosch was so much better. It's not even a joke. The Bosch was so much better, and my SDS drill sounds like it's got AIDS.
It actually sounds like it was just in reverse all the time. It was like, please, stop.
At one point, I was like, why are these bricks so hard?
You can see him going like this with the drill. Oh, if I hit it like this, will it come out quicker?
It was nonsense. I wanted a retake really, but you know, I had to let Nick win with his like stitching.
I kicked you all. Mine was the neatest and the fastest. Yeah, but I've done this now for 11 years. Like that's all I've done really. So it'd be annoying. It would be annoying for you lot if I was actually bad at it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, imagine
doing what, the chasing? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, we chased that socket and we had a race.
Literally, I've not done.
She gets the builder to do it. She just comes to screws the box in.
I remember the first time I ever done chasing, it was like that much to the cooker and then that much up to the switch. Right, that took me about an hour. And it looked terrible at the end. It was terrible. So yeah.
You know, man's work.
Worst one I've ever had was in my brother-in-law's house. Literally the first chase we did, I hit into the wall once and about a 2 meter square piece of plaster fell off the wall. Yeah.
Oh mate, there's nothing worse than that. I was doing a camera at my mum and dad's house the other week, and I was drilling a 15mm hole through the wall. And I was so worried, because our house isn't new and it's by the seaside, so the sea rots everything. Like everything goes brittle. And I was questioning: do I drill it from the inside out and knock the render off? And then you got a problem, or do I do it from the outside in and knock the inside plaster off, and then you can put a curtain over it? So that's the way I went.
Good, not your house.
Exactly. But it turned out that I went straight through and there was no blowouts. But you know, if it's on a client's house where the ramifications are, you've got to get the front of the house rendered because you've ballsed it up, that 9 times out of 10 will happen.
I've learned over the years, I've shown videos of me doing it, messing up when I drilled through to do a pillar light through into the hallway. Do you remember it? And I was drilling through, I thought, yeah, massive long 1.5 meter, but I got through and I looked in the hall, I was like, oh shit, it's not there. Where is it? The middle of the lounge wall, this much plaster fell off. Oh wow.
Oh.
But luckily they were skimming it. I was honest with them. But we found as well, so whatever we're fitting outside, so let's say it's going to be an outside socket, most of the time I'll drill internally to externally. And I know I'll blow some brick out, but we'll use probably an 8mm drill bit, knowing blowout will be minimal at least, and then we will drill from outside in, and we'll do a double socket, we'll always cover up the blown out brick. Sometimes it's gone a bit, if you get the corner of a brick and it takes the shard out across, you're a bit knackered, but there's some slight equally inside. If you use a smaller drill bit, and when you get to the last bit, take it off hammer and just let it cut through. Most of the time, you're all right.
Most of the time, you're all right. I'll tell you what, I've got a story. I was, when I was...
Is it a poo story?
No, not a poo story. I haven't had one of them for a while. I stopped eating a certain type of food.
Which was? What have you stopped eating?
Tara Masalata, my favourite food of all time.
What is that? No idea what that is.
It's like a fishy dip. It's the best thing of all time, and I hate
fishy dip.
Trust me, try Tara Masalata on pita bread with hummus and chopped onions. Oh my god! Oh dear!
I don't
How's
want
it
to
go,
have
Sam?
one of your toilet stories, so I think I'm alright.
All right, sweet. So
No, it's not a toilet story. It's just happens wherever he is.
yeah, it just does. Yes. Hey man, don't blow
Sorry.
up my spot.
It's where he wears brown trousers all the time.
Well, I've actually got grey trousers on today, so you
sat
better
down there,
turn
you're
around
all
for
right.
the camera.
Oh.
I was an apprentice, and well, I wasn't really an apprentice. I was. Anyway, I was drilling. I was at the top floor of this block of flats. There's only about 3 or 4 stories high, and you had to drill through. Sorry, you are keeping me up. You had to drill through from the outside at an angle into the building, and then you take a bit of containment right along to their fuse board. It was a real shitty job, no matter from the client side and from your side. Anyway, I'd done about 4 or 5 of these and got it perfectly every time. And I was like, yeah, I've got this. Anyway, going through the wall, and I was like, this is not moving anyway. It moved and then it wouldn't move again. So I pulled out the drill bit, and then a little bit of water come out. And I was like a little bit of red water come out. And I was like, what's that? And then it started coming out more and more and more. And I put my finger in it. I was like, please, please, please. And I pulled it out and it just went, and I'd hit the main downpipe for the water tank in the ceiling. And it just pissed out everywhere, and it wouldn't stop. It literally wouldn't stop. It was running down the stairs and everything. You know what they said to me? The company I was working for, can we take your liability insurance, please? I was like, no, no, you can't. Oh, you're not getting paid this week. Oh, whatever.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You just off the week's wage for that? That's it?
Well, that's illegal. You can't just take people's wages.
Oh my god, no way. Do you know, I didn't even know that was illegal, because my old employer was like, mate, you ripped a bit of lino, week's wage, gone. See ya, $1,000, yep, lino, yep, gone. Okay. Well, anyways, I didn't know this was illegal, but we can talk about that another time.
You can't just deduct people's wages. No.
Oh, well, he used to do that all the time.
Oh.
Yeah,
How much liner did you rip?
Literally, it was just I moved it, because that's why I no longer move furniture in people's houses, because I literally just moved it, ripped a little bit, but the tenant was like, I want new liner for the whole kitchen, and apparently they charged like £750, so he was just like, yeah, I'll just take the week's wage, and I didn't get paid that month pretty much. But it was like fine, because I was like, yeah, fair enough, I messed up, and what can I do? I can't change lino, so anyways, yeah, but I didn't know this was illegal,
no, you can't just do that. Mark,
well, that company did
you
that
definitely can't do that. I wish you could, because Matthew would earn me money by now, but you're not allowed to do that.
And Adam, you slammed the door too hard.
He even used to do that with lunch. He used to buy us lunch on Fridays, and then on the pay slip it would be like minus £5.76, and it would be like the lunch. Yeah, I thought this was like,
god,
normal.
Mate, I would work for that person for about 5 seconds before getting the ump with him. I would get the ump with someone like that. I just can't deal with that.
That's highly illegal. Never mind.
Deal with goes on.
Stop touching it then.
Well, it's so smooth and soft and silky.
It's so conditioned. Oh, lovely. Don't do that. Don't do that again.
So fat and handsome.
Oh dear. Everyone's just turned off now. That's it. No one's watching.
Major. Kimmy's trying it. Listen, my hair is more luscious than Kimmy's. Come on. Anyway, before we descend into Nonsenseville,
we already have.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know what? I actually had 2 things I really wanted to talk about, but it's like, well, now we've got how many minutes? Well,
we've got as many minutes as you want. It's a podcast. It's not a TV show.
Well, you know what I wanted to talk about today?
How to do containment.
No, please. But yeah, no, you know what? I'm thinking I might save it for another time. It was just I wanted to talk about. Okay, so on Instagram, the York, and you know the daughter from the daughter, right? So anyways, she posted like a little thing, and she spoke about obviously being a woman in a male-dominated industry and just feeling the pressure. And obviously I feel like that as well sometimes when, you know, you come into a job and then the tenant or the client is like, oh my God, a woman doing the job. And then you've got so much extra pressure because they're already kind of like watching you, waiting for you to mess up so they can be like, yeah, a woman, you know, should try. Like you said, you know, it's like, oh, a woman doing trunking, a woman can't core a hole in a wall for a fan and so forth and so forth. And it's like, I just wanted to talk about, what's that?
I don't believe that. And here's why. I believe that actually women are as capable as men in every single facet of life. Now, okay, when it comes to strength and endurance, it is a biological fact.
Yeah, we're built different, that's it.
Yeah. Structurally, physiologically, women are not as strong and as robust as men, generally speaking. But when it comes to electrical work, some of the most intricate stuff is done by women. Women are, on the whole, better at retaining technical information than men. When it comes to application in test form, that's why girls tend to have higher test scores across the board at GCSEs. And I do think the electrical game is one of those games that is a level playing field for women. It's just not been as accessible for women for so many years. Now, when I first come onto Instagram, there was very few female electricians on Instagram. And if you look in the last year or so, the absolute influx of female plumbers, female carpenters, just a general, the whole lot. And I welcome it. I think it's a fantastic thing. I think it's and it's just going to take time, as with any big change.
Yeah, you're right. I think with that,
it's just going to take time for people to accept it. Now, most people will accept it on the face of it. It will take some proving to some of the older people, and that's just life. A lot of people can get quite caught up and say, no, we should be accepted immediately, blah blah blah, women in the trades and all that sort of stuff. It's just not functionally true that that's going to happen. Like, you can wish something, but it's not a perfect world. It's going to take time for people to accept the movement that is women in the trades. Is there some drawbacks to it? There is, but there's some drawbacks to men being in the trades. You know, it's just we haven't seen it all yet.
Give it another 10, 15 years, it's going to be completely different.
It will be. And good. Listen, I've got a daughter. I have a whole different perspective on life. And same as you, Nick, same as you, Mark. We've got daughters. Like, I don't particularly want my daughter to be... I want my daughter to be a doctor. It's that simple. Right? That's exactly what I want her to be, because I wish I was a doctor. But the reality is, she could be an electrician, she could be a plumber, she could be anything she wanted to be. We're in the it's 2021. We live in the future. This phone has 90% of the world's knowledge. Can type it in and find out 90% of the world's knowledge of all of human history is at my fingertips. It's 2021. Don't worry about being a woman in the trades. It's perfectly fine.
I do think as men we need to be better at listening to women who are going through that experience, because we don't know what it's like. We haven't been stood in front of those customers trying to face that down. So we it's hard for us to speak about, but I think we need to be better at explaining that as an industry, that it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you're equally as capable of doing this job. So maybe we need to make more of an effort to get that message out there into the clients. Certainly in the domestic world, it is different out in commercial sites, but we need to listen more to people like yourself, Kimmy, how your experiences have affected you and what you actually see, because you're the one who is experiencing it.
Yeah, because I think what it is like a one-off, thing where every now and again you get a bit of banter, that's fine. But then sometimes you'll have a day where it's like non-stop banter, like, oh, a woman doing this. And it's like, you're like the 7th person in one, like the day that said it, and you just kind of feel like, oh my God, I don't even want to do this anymore. So that's what literally today I felt like that, where it was just like, you know, the guy was so surprised I'm a woman, and I was just like really struggling with the job. Like, I've got to come back tomorrow to finish it. And I was like, oh my God, like he gave a woman a chance because I am a woman. That's the only reason why he picked me over anybody else. Because he didn't even ask me my price. He's just like, yeah, whatever it is, I just want to, you know, give you the opportunity to do the job. And then I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh my God, like he chose me because I'm a woman, and then I couldn't get it done. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that was just like today that I really felt it. And then it was just seeing the post at the same time, and all the women commenting, you know, saying that they feel the same, where it's like, you know, every now and again, bit of banter, that's fine. But then sometimes you'll just get it from left, right, center in one day, from, you know, the wholesalers, somebody pulling up to you carrying a ladder. Oh, what do you do? Electrician. And it's like, oh, I didn't know a woman could do this, didn't know. And it's just like, yeah, but I think we're, like you said, we're going through that overlap right now where we're breaking through, and we are kind of like cleaning up the slack of breaking the stereotypes. People do have the traditional outlooks, and we're just...
Yeah, I've had an ever so small like slice of that when I first started, when I was 18, being self-employed. Oh, she's back. Yeah, like ever so small. Like when I was rocked up in my own van, being like literally fresh for 18, 19 years old, people would judge me and go, oh, do you know what you're doing? Like I get it slightly, the fact of being a man and a woman, and they looked at me with no confidence whatsoever, like, well, are you sure you know what you're doing? And it was a similar thing, and it took ages to get that in my head. If every customer I turn up to is, oh, is that what they're thinking? They were thinking they can't do it because I'm not old enough, or I'm not a middle-aged man. Obviously that's gone now, but yes, I know exactly what you mean. It's not a nice feeling. It's just sat there constantly over every job.
Yeah, it's nice to see there's so many people out here being very supportive though of women in the trades, and just, you know, making us feel like we are on a very equal level in most ways.
Do you know what it is? I think what you need to look at it as yes, there's been women electricians before. Yes, there's been women plumbers, all different types of tradeswomen. Look at the women of what do they call them?
Sparta.
No, during the war, there was the women. They made all the munitions. They done all the maintenance on the buildings and stuff, because all the men were at war. So they was doing all the.
They ran the country. They did everything.
Yeah, they did everything. So what I would suggest that you are is a new era of trailblazers. And this isn't me blowing smoke up your ass. The women getting into trades in 2021 are trailblazers, and you are setting the tone for the next generation, for my daughter's generation, for Nick's daughter and Mark's daughter's generation, to show that, you know, you don't have to go and get a clerical job or work in retail, you know, because historically those have been the jobs that working class women have gone into. So they go into working in retail, a clerical job, admin, you know, that sort of thing, and then they find a man, and they have a family, and they go on to do, you know, being a housewife. Well, you guys are showing that that's not your only route. If you want to go and do a trade, that's perfectly acceptable too. And, you know, if you come up against people that are, you know, I think the banter that you receive probably doesn't come from a bad place. It probably comes from a place where like, oh wow, that's you, yeah? Do you know what I mean? That's all.
Is that you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't know, and I've experienced this a lot. With there's a woman plumber around Stafford, Helena. Amy did a thingy with her, and some people just don't know how to talk to women, like tradesmen. They do not.
No.
It's someone that like sat there with a similar interest, and then you walk into wholesale and go, "Oh, a woman." Like there's no sentence unless you're like you could be like me and you, Kimmy. We could talk and go, "Oh, this is cool. I'm going to be doing it." You know, a bit of confidence is fine. But some of them they're like, "Oh, yeah, oh, woman, oh." What do we do? Do you know what I mean? Literally. It's like a guy on a night out.
Let me say something stupid.
Like, this is it. And they will come out with something stupid to break the ice, and that's their way of going and creating a conversation. But you take it as oh, great, another dig, right? Piss off. And that's not saying you're taking it as a bad way, but it's just like when you've had it 7 times in one day, you just think I've had enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, shut up, mate.
Yeah, I did it today as well. So sorry, Kim.
No, it's fine. Today I'm just like, I've already gone past that thing where I just, I was like, this is too much. And now I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can tolerate it again. But then,
you know what it is? Just think of it as, you're setting a trend for the next generation. And I think that's a powerful thing, man.
And you know what I realized? I sometimes do feel like, yeah, you know what? Maybe because I am a woman, I can't do it. But then I realized, do you know how many men's dodgy jobs are fixed? How many men came before me and they couldn't find the issue, and I was the 5th person that came and I found it within 2 minutes. And then when I remember those jobs, and I'm like, wait a minute, you get men that can't do the job as well. So it's not even the fact that you're a man or a woman, it's just the fact that you might not be good at it and you might be good at it. That's all it is. And then when I remember that, I do feel like, yeah, you know what, I've got this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and it's
you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. And I call you bro all the time. That's probably not acceptable in this day and age.
Bit weird.
Listen, I don't mind bro, man, woman. I call everybody guys. I'm like, hey guys, would you be a bunch of girls?
I have it when I talk to customers, and I obviously I'm friendly with quite a lot. Like when I put the phone down, like, oh, cheers, mate, obviously to men. And then when I've said it a few times, all right, cheers, mate, to a woman, I'm like, that's so weird. Like, why? I mean, I've said I love you a few times because some customers by accident. I said I'd just been on the phone to my other half or my mom or something, and then a customer rings me and I'm going, oh, yeah, okay, love you, see you tomorrow. And as soon as I've said it, I'm like,
what?
Oh no! And the worst one is that when the people go, love you too, bye. Oh my god, I'll see him tomorrow.
That makes me so happy.
It's terrible.
I say it to like the likes of Nick and Mark all the time on the phone just to make you feel weird.
Oh, you never say it to me.
Well, that's because that would be inappropriate, you see. Right. I feel like we've come to a natural conclusion of this podcast. It has been a good one, I think. I've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Sam. Love you.
Love you too. Well, my missus definitely can't see this now. Right, guys. Monday Club, we're out.
See you later.